Ladies and gentlemen, so Aaron Cunning with lots of information regarding Bitcoin. Everybody is leaving. Everybody seems to be leaving because that's very strange, because we're now on to part of the day which is based on the pitching, based on the different 24 different ideas out of 300 that we got about two or 3 months ago regarding different ideas, different concepts. And today, the first 6, this afternoon now, the first 6 will pitch their ideas to a group of 4 different entrepreneurs, and it will give them a chance to, it will give the pitchers a chance for you to hear and see their idea. It will give, obviously, the jury as well to hear and see exactly what they've got to offer. And again, remember, everybody's got a big idea, but taking that big idea to the next level is something quite different. And also convincing, it's not just convincing you, but clearly convincing our jury of how valid and how strong their idea actually is. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is invite on stage the 4 members of our jury, and we've got a great a team of people. We've got Amy Cosper from Entrepreneur Magazine. We've also got, I think she's just about to come. Here she is now. Hi, Amy. Round of applause for Amy from Entrepreneur Magazine. We also have a gentleman called Frank Meehan from Spark Labs. A gentleman called Justin Can from Y Combinator. And finally, Mr. Faisal Mostamandi from a place called Silicon Valley. Okay, so this is exactly how it's going to be, how it's going to work. There we are, that's for you. Okay, so this is the interesting part, really interesting part. So our different teams, we have altogether, as I say, we have 24 different various teams, various ideas that they feel is the big idea, the next big idea, okay? So the first session is now. We will have 6, the first 6 in alphabetical order, okay? This afternoon will be the next 6. Tomorrow morning will be the 3rd session, the next 6, and finally, naturally, the last 6 tomorrow afternoon. And then basically we will announce the winners and see who runs away basically with the best idea voted by our judges. Okay, so each team will come forward onto the stage. They will pitch their idea for 3 minutes. Okay, they will be facing you for 3 minutes, no longer, no less. Okay, then from then on, our judges, our team of expert judges, will have an opportunity to give, to ask questions, to pick their brains, to see really, you know, to delve into that idea a little bit more deeper, and to see how they react. Remember, coming on stage and pitching in English is certainly not an easy feat at all. So it'll be interesting to see how each team deals with that, and also their concept as well. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? You don't sound ready, but I'll ask you again. Are you ready? Yes, you are. So, put your hands together for the first team. They are called, or the concept is called, Agrivi from Croatia.
Hi, everybody. Just point. Hi, my name is Matija, and I'm founder of Agrivi. We have launched Agrivi 4 months ago, and we have 350 farms on the system currently, and from 30 different countries. We have identified 3 key farming problems: low productivity, expensive inputs, and farmers don't know how to sell. If we know that 98% of farmers are small and family farmers, then we can just imagine how big is the problem. That's why we have created Agrivi. an intelligent farm management software that helps farmers to increase their productivity and profitability. Agrivi empowers farmers with best practice processes for 60 different crops. It monitors weather conditions on all fields and alerts farmers if there is a risk of disease, so they could prepare spraying timely and ensure yield quality and quantity. Farmers just need to track their costs and inputs, and Agrivi automatically calculates all reports and analytics so they could easily identify problems and solve them. Agrivi helps farmers to buy inputs at lower prices directly through Agrivi and connects them with buyers from various countries through Agrivi Marketplace, which is very important because farmers need to ensure selling entire yield and achieve good price. Our goal is to become European leader and one of key global players in this segment. We use online marketing as a primary sales channel, and we also use direct sales for the key markets. On other markets, we will go with exclusive distributors. Company can be extremely profitable with only 1% of European market. And if we become a global player, then this is a multi-billion-dollar business. We have just launched 11 languages on Agrivi, which is very important because farmers in the world don't speak English. So only a few of them actually does. And till now, we have raised seed investment of 100,000 euro. From angel investors, we have opened UK headquarters, and we were selected in top 10 startups at the Next Web Amsterdam. All that is powered by 5 full-time employees that are agronomists, developers, and business management with significant experience. And finally, last thing, a little peek into our vision. So imagine that if you can know everything about this apple right now. So where it was produced, how it was treated, and how many people recommend that producer. Thanks.
So there we are, Agrivi. So this is how it works. Very simply, our team of experts, of entrepreneurs, they will now ask you questions regarding your pitch, regarding your concept.
Okay.
Well done on the presentation.
Thanks.
What really captivated me is at the end that I can find out the vision, right? Where does that apple come from?
Okay.
Where else do you imagine that's applicable?
Well, what we want to create is really an ecosystem. So we want to connect everything that farmer needs on one single place. And one thing is we track how it is produced, everything. And we know how it was treated, etc. We know the final output of that, and we connect them with buyers. Buyers know everything, so wholesale buyers first. Then after that, B2C, so end users get it. So this is first thing, then rating of producers, etc. So this is the final vision where it should go.
And can you apply it to, for instance, packaged goods? So I know the ingredients were those,
of course,
that kind of deep layered.
Yeah, also packaged goods, and how it should look like in the end is that you have mark Agrivi, recommended by Agrivi, like you have TripAdvisor on coffee shops. So you just come and see, okay, this is you get a link on Agrivi and you get the data for that product.
Thank you.
Great job. How do you guys acquire customers right now? You have 350?
Yeah, it is online marketing and with almost none budget. So,
like what channels?
Search engine marketing, Google.
What do people look for?
Farm management software.
So you have it looked like you had a lot of different features. Like what's the killer feature that people are using?
Currently, the few main features are this disease recognition, which is very important, and weather monitoring for all fields. So they have rainfall history, etc. They don't need to go to the field and look at it, or go to some weather forecast site and type every field again. So they have it on one place, and other thing is that analytics part. So they just input, track everything, organize themselves, and they can see how much fertilizers they used, how much pesticide they used, what is the cost structure of everything. So these are the main features currently, and what we are trying to do is as I said, create ecosystem. And in terms of marketplace, there is all this question, chicken or egg. So we want to create farm management software first, and get user base, and then go to approach to marketplace with existing user base.
Cool, thanks.
Good job. I'm from Australia, so I actually really understand that, and I grew up on a farm. So just how much are you making from your early customers? Are they paying anything at the moment?
So we have 350 signed ups, and we have 10 paid customers. So that is, in terms of conversion rate, quite good conversion rate. And with appropriate budget, we can scale it easily.
And do they understand, does your average farmer appreciate the savings or that he's going to get, or the efficiency that he's going to get? I'm sure he can for free, but to pay for it?
Yeah, so we have paid customers that are asking us, we were 6 months in private beta on pilot projects, so this is important. We got a lot of feedback to know what to offer in the final product. So currently, our paid customers are satisfied customers, and we receive other feedback, what else do they want to track? And actually, in this phase, we almost track everything that can be tracked.
Okay. Last one.
I don't have an accent, but I'm going to talk anyway. I've got a real quick question for you. There are so many things I like about what you're saying up here. Okay. The marriage of technology and agriculture. I mean, it's really smart. A lot of opportunity there. Could you just really quickly sketch out a profile of a typical customer, and sort of, what are you looking for in the adoption rate?
So, well, actually, we are focused on fruit, vegetable, and crop producers, so no livestock segment at all. And we're focused on small professional farms and below enterprise segment. This is our focus segment. In terms of market size, this is huge. Only in European Union, we have over 5 million potential customers. So this is really huge. And in terms of age structure of farmer, it is from 20 to 45, because sons of farmers are taking over now. It's a generation shift. And those from 30 to 45 are used to internet also currently. So now is the timing, and we see a lot of startups in different parts of the world trying to get into this market currently, because currently it is blue ocean. Users don't use anything. Okay.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Agrevi. Okay, so there you go. You can see kind of like, first of all, the standard that we've got here. Remember, again, 300 out of roughly about 300 different applications over the last couple of months came through. Going through those wasn't an easy task at all, but we did it, and we've got exactly 24 that are here on stage that they're going to show you and show our judge exactly what they've got. Are you ready for the second pitch? Okay, I will get you going by the end of the day. So, pitch number 2 is a concept named Assemblio. Put your hands together for Assemblio from Croatia.
Well, thank you guys. I am Yuri, and today I'm here to present to you Assemblio, the easiest way to build your personal computer. So, what is the personal computer? It's the most important tool we use in our lives. And to properly use that tool, it really has to work so damn well that we don't even think about using it. We just use it. And when we are buying such a tool, there is a big problem. We have a lot of components to choose from to integrate in our PC. And an average Joe, let's say someone who doesn't really know a lot about computers but uses them for their work, cannot really make the right decisions for himself. And he cannot properly balance the costs of buying a new PC with the performances he needs. So Assemblio is a project that aims to resolve that problem, the buyer's problem. The buyer comes to Assemblio. He says, I have this much money and I want a PC for, let's say, gaming, or a PC for video editing. And what Assemblio does is assemble the best PC for the user's price range and needs, and gives him a list of vendors which he can then buy the PC from. Now, Of course, we have to be heard somehow. And there are two main ways that we acquire our users at Assemblio. First off, we use links to assemble the PCs by Assemblio, so that when, let's say, your aunt or your mother asks you, hey, what kind of PC should I buy? You just say, oh, go to Assemblio, you know? You just give her a link to a PC. Oh, she sees that. She asks you, oh, is that good? You say yes, and she goes and buys the PC. Now, as well as that, we have a standing media partnership with Bug Online, the premier website for computer enthusiasts in Croatia, who have recognized us and wanted to integrate ourselves within their website, and that's right now in the process. Considering revenue and costs, our end users will always have the service for free, and that's my personal promise and the promise of our whole team. Therefore, we have to earn some money somehow, and our current plan is that the vendor will pay us a monthly fee in order to be listed on our service. Our costs at the moment are minimal and are mainly comprised of website hosting, further development, and marketing, and further marketing. An additional cost would be probably business mentorship or something like that, since we are geeks and we are not really that strong in the business segment of the whole story. Our current standing partners as of now are Bug, the premier magazine. Oh. Thank you.
There we are. You heard.
Oh.
You heard the beep. You know what that means. 3 minutes can last very quickly. It can go very quickly indeed. Members of the jury.
That was great. That was sort of a rude cutoff, kind of a la the Oscar Awards. Just real quick, can you tell me in 3 sentences or less what your mission is?
Our mission is to help people who do not know how to build a PC or how to choose, let's say, a laptop or any other kind of electronic device, to choose the best one that fits their needs, because a lot of different people have a lot of different needs from their PC. Let's say I do programming and video editing. I need a strong processor, but I don't need a strong graphics card, for example. And we balance that for them so that their choices are made somewhere else and somewhere where they can be made objectively.
So within this sort of umbrella of services you provide, do you also include Mac, Apple?
At the moment, no, but if Apple would be so friendly to...
Good luck with that.
Yeah, but Macs are really well built, so, you know. Yeah. It's not really a target.
That's right. PCs aren't. I totally agree with you, man. So, just a quick question. So, I'm a little struggling a little bit on the business model, particularly just on vendors, because I can't see that. I don't know how many vendors there are, but I find that's a bit of a struggle. But have you ever considered, like, there's a huge market now for building things, just, you know.
Yes, general things, general electronic things.
Be that Raspberry Pi or, you know, anything coming off that sort of home building market now. It's huge, especially in the US.
Well, of course, any kind of device that has different characteristics can be taken by our sorting algorithm and can be suggested to the end user. So even a Raspberry Pi, which is in the end just a computer, can be one of the options that Assemblio can provide someone with. For example, for a home theater PC or something like that.
And have you got any traffic from outside Croatia?
Yes, we have got a bit of traffic from outside Croatia, but when we launched our campaign to see how many people actually would like the service, and really in Croatia a lot of people loved us, we didn't really aim for anything outside of Croatia. But of course, since this is ex-Yugoslavia, the Balkan area, a lot of people from Bosnia, from Serbia, from Slovenia also contacted us and wanted to see what the fuss is all about.
Why did you guys decide to work on this problem?
Well, mainly, when or why?
Why?
Oh, why? Well, mainly the project is the brainchild of Eugene, who's sitting there in the audience right now. And basically, we as geeks were fed up with people constantly asking us, "Hey, could you build me a PC? Oh, it has to cost maximally $500, but it has to last me a decade, you know, and it has to do everything as well as the $1,500 Mac or something like that, you know." So basically, it came out of frustration and became something that people really embraced, especially here in Croatia, where there is a big culture of owning a personal computer for your work and for, let's say, gaming. So especially the younger audiences loved it because gamers don't necessarily know a lot about hardware, but they want to have the best graphics card for their money and stuff like that.
So I gotta ask, why wouldn't someone just go to Dell?
Why wouldn't someone just go to Dell?
They do the same thing, right?
Yes, they offer and market because building a custom PC is something that people take really personally. So especially, let's say here in Croatia, the general idea of a pre-built PC is that it's a piece of crap, you know? And that's just how we here think. So, of course, if Assemblio would be going on a larger market, a Dell PC would be perfectly fine to be included as one of the options. But right here, people really like to build their own PCs, even if they don't have a lot of knowledge, because they are aware that they are going to get the best bang for their buck when they build it themselves. And there are vendors who actually offer you to just buy the components. The vendor builds the whole PC for you. You can't go wrong with actually building a custom PC here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Put your hands together for Assemblio. Okay, moving on to picture number 3. Put your hands together for one more from Croatia, very simply called Bizmeet.
Thank you. So, good day, everybody. My name is Ida, and I'm CEO and founder of Bizme.me. It's a skills and location-based mobile app for current and new users. So, what's all happening? We see posts like this all of the time. We all know that conferences are amazing opportunities for networking, but we're missing out our hidden gems like this. For example, airports, great networking opportunities. This is why we decided to build Bizme.me, to make sure that you never ever miss out on your most valuable connections anymore. This is how it looks like. It has 2 basic options. First is search, and the second is drop Bizmeet. So you can search people based on locations, skills, and tags, such as conferences. You can easily send message, and you can also drop Bizmeet to make sure when you travel somewhere, you make yourself discoverable. So for example, you're going to shift in Split, you drop a Bizmeet, I will be there in those timings, and I will be available for networking. You can share those invites on social networks to increase your visibility. Plus, we will also make sure that we notify you on which of your connections on social networks that you're connected with are already in Split. So for example, you're coming to Split, and 10 of your LinkedIn connections are also in Split. We call this option Remember to Meet. Also, we want to make sure you don't miss out on great networking opportunities. So you can also connect your Facebook, Twitter, and Angel.co profiles. And when you drop a Bizmeet invite, we will notify you how many connections are in this country or city territory. This is our current market potential. It's quite huge because all of our target audiences are basically people looking for business networking opportunities. And current state is we have 400 early invites requests, and in 58 countries and around 20 plus PR publications on Bizmeet. This is how we're planning to do traction. First, we want to make it a utility app, so you don't forget to meet people that are already in your network, and long-term goal is to make it a social networking app. Also, you're able to share your job pins very easily all around the social media space. And we make sure with top networker list that you invite other users and get points and be recommended more often to the people searching for people with skills like yours. Events, conferences, partnerships, also important part of attraction because we want to make sure cluster communities are at one place. And PRs, of course, very important part. So in phase 2, we're gonna aim on monetization. These are some of the monetization parts we would like to utilize. But of course, we will see how the users behave, and we will customize monetization models based on the data we receive. These are our competitors, and why we believe BizMeet is different, because it saves your time. When you drop in, you can easily make yourself discoverable, and we plugged in also hourly meeting options. This is our team. Thank you very much.
Okay, BizMeet. Let's hear what our judges, what they really feel about BizMeet.
So well done, and I love the idea. I don't know why we're all not using it. We should be using it for these 3 days.
I can reply immediately. So it's still not launched. It's on 70% development phase, and we have around 80 to 100 hours left to make it beta version for the early invites to test it.
We would have loved to have been part of your beta.
Great, I will give you our subscription list so you can apply.
Great.
We'll notify you.
So I did want to ask, you know, it's neat that you're this cross-section between LinkedIn, Tinder, and Banjo, right? Because you have that discoverability piece of it. You know, when you market it, what's been the biggest difficulty in getting people to adopt it, just within the beta, the early pilot?
Well, first we're going to start like with the connections we know. So with the people that already know about BizMeet. And we want to make sure that in every country we have like ambassadors that will start spreading the app. What was missing out in the other apps, why we decided to build it, is that every app has some functionality. We want to make sure it's all in one. Because then you need to download like different kinds of apps, and you have one connection in this app, one connection in that app. But we want to make sure that all the most valuable networking opportunity stays within BizMeet.
How will you get your first couple thousand users, like ambassadors?
Yeah, so we already have 400 people subscribed. And if it takes, we have some partnership deals with some of the conferences. We have a lot of connections inside of the region. So we want to test it on, let's say, 1,000 users, which will, it should be enough for us to see the functionality of the utility of the app.
But you're going to have like a pretty high number of users for it to propagate after, you know, a conference or something, if you get like an initial conference adoption, because afterwards people won't run into each other, right, unless you have a pretty high density. So what do you think that density is in terms of, you know, business users using your product?
Well, this is why we build in this utility part. So even though you don't have maybe at the beginning a lot of the users that you can find, you can still have BizMeet notify you when you drop your BizMeet. We want to make sure it's an active app. So you are dropping BizMeets, and you have the list of the people when you are traveling somewhere. For example, let's say Twitter. You cannot find like users, let's say I want to find users on Twitter in Croatia or in the United States. I'm traveling over there. But through the API, we can show those users to you. And we can make you easier to contact those users, all of your networking contacts. So this is the first part. And when the app becomes functional, when the activity becomes larger, then people will have additional benefit of making sure that they can meet other people. Airports, we discovered that airports are really good places because when you travel by business, you usually travel by yourself. And you're layover and you stay there for, let's say, 4 or 5 hours. And you scan all of your emails, you go to the duty shops, blah, blah, blah. But then you have still some time missing. And it's a great networking place. So we want to make sure, this is why we built in the hourly option. Because you can say, I'm there from 2 to 3 p.m. at Heathrow Airport. And you're discoverable at that time.
Well, we need to get you to move to London or somewhere where there's a hub and you can cut out those layovers for 5 hours. But
in Croatia, definitely not.
Yeah, I know, you got too many layovers. So, quick question though, like it feels like there's a lot of competition in this space. Like you've got Jeff Pulver's Zula, we've got Acompli, Refresh, which is gorgeous. Like I'm struggling here to see how you stand out against these guys, which frankly do pretty much the same thing.
Well, they do. I mean, there are tons of applications. But what we discovered is nobody has quite cracked the code in a way it really went like big, huge, global. And this is why we were searching for all the features from those kind of apps that we find interesting and really important, and we build them into BizMeet. So like nobody can nobody can promise you it will work out, but this is why we want to test with the quality users, and then we want to go for the larger scale. And this is why we really want to move it to Western European countries or to United States, because these areas are the best kind of areas to spread those kind of apps. We did had some offers from the investors from Eastern Europe, but I don't see our app going from that part of the world global-wide. So we just want to make it step by step and see how it goes.
Thank you very much for sharing. I know it's kind of scary up here. It's very brave. I mean, you guys are very brave to do this. But just real quick, if you could walk me through your revenue modeling and sort of when you expect profitability.
Okay, so of course, we want to have active users. When we have active users, there's a lot of monetization possibilities. In the phase 2, we were also thinking about building the event pages inside of the app. So inside of the event pages, event organizers will be able to sell sponsorship deals for perks. You come to Shift Split, and VIP is the main sponsor of the conferences, so VIP will be able, through BizMeet, to offer you some kind of a perks. And Shift organizers can sell it inside of their sponsorship deals. So this is first thing. Also, with users actively using it, we'll be able to know which skilled users are traveling to which kind of places, who is meeting who. So it's a major data analytics possibility also, on which we could do ad selling based on skills or based on location. For example, if you drop your BizMeet, you're going to London in 2 weeks, somebody could like track you with, okay, we have great hotel deal in 2 weeks. So maybe even some partnerships with sites like Booking or those kind of things, because there is large possibilities in these areas, I think. Also, what we were thinking of, this is kind of since we have this top networker option, influence score that is raising based on your activity and you inviting other users, it's kind of, we all think that it's important to be on top. So also like in Google search, if you're a company, you want to make sure you're on top in search results. This is what we can offer to users. You want to be a top result when people are searching for people with skills like yours. Okay, you can pay and you can increase your visibility. You can be recommended more time to key users. So these are all possibilities that we are thinking that could make good revenue models.
And so for your pricing structure, will it be based on a CPM or?
Well, we would definitely go on the cost per action, because I think it's the most important thing. Like conversions are the most important. I've been doing Facebook and Google marketing for the last 5 years, and CPC and CPM are okay, but what all the clients need, they need activation. So if you send a BizMeet and your BizMeet is confirmed, somebody says, yes, let's meet, this is activation. And I would charge for that. I wouldn't charge just to be seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, BizMeet.
Thank you.
Okay, pitch number 4. Pitch number 4 is called Black App from the US.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Teddy, and I'm a software developer for more than 8 years. I know from experience that building your own application or website, it's pretty much easy today. You just have to figure out the main logic, develop the core features. And then you just need to combine some of the existing services. Like if I say cloud storage, you would think about Dropbox or iCloud. When it comes to payment, there are services like Stripe or PayPal. When I said maps, the first thing that usually comes to your mind is Google Maps. But what about data exchange features? Sorry. Things like sharing video, voice, messaging, file sharing. These are things that developers are usually building from scratch, and you don't really want to build this from scratch. So you have to worry about encryption, matching, discovery, quality of service. This could take much time and money. I did a research and found a huge gap here, and that's why today I'm introducing a platform called Black. Black is cloud-based data exchange platform that enables developers to easily integrate features like video, voice, messaging, or file sharing. Think of it as a black box that covers all the dirty job. So developers won't have to care anymore about encryption, discovery, authentication, and all those crucial problems on the internet. We are providing powerful APIs in form of SDK, tools, documentation. So developers won't have to reinvent the wheel all over again. They can peacefully focus on their vision and goals. And all the magic happens with just few lines of code. The platform itself is pretty much lightweight, therefore is competitively cheap. Team of 7 people work hard over the past 5 months to make this all happen. And today our website is open for early beta access, so feel free to subscribe and request your early beta stage. One more thing, in order to prove the quality of our platform, we built already an application on top of it that enables you to anonymously talk to random strangers. So if you're interested, feel free to scan this code and download this application. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Just a real quick question. So who are you selling this to? Who's your ideal target customer?
Actually, to all developers out there, mainly freelancers. I'm a developer, and I know that when I need to do something, I usually research some of the existing services, like, as I mentioned, for maps, I will use Google Maps. And when it comes to this kind of data exchange things, there are no such thing. I mean, there are few, but basically, yeah, actually, it's, I don't know how, actually developers, I mean, freelancers mainly, yeah.
And so the problem you're solving is you are creating a service that's off the shelf, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Firstly, I love the name, Black App. I was hoping this was going to be some sort of personal security thing, because I could see that going wild with that name. Just with this type of model, though, the issue is that when you launch these type, when you launch these type of black boxes for developers, when you launch them, they're always good because you've kind of collated a lot of good stuff and put a black box for them. The problem is trying to be relevant. So, because there's so many new things that come up and so many tools for developers, and then, so I'm really interested to know from an architectural viewpoint, how do you manage to, how modular are you here in terms of being able to slot in a new, the latest authentication stuff or whatever it is? Because that's where this model always kind of falls down, is just in a year's time, just keeping relevant for the developers.
Yeah. Okay, the platform itself, it's pretty much different than the existing things. I mean, all these existing black boxes that help developers to do something are mainly focused into infrastructure. And in our case, the infrastructure is pretty much lightweight, and it easily, I can easily distribute this infrastructure to any server worldwide. So that's the tricky part. Regarding modules, we are offering them just solving of these basic crucial internet problems like discovery and matchmaking and authentication. So basically your device, once it gets registered in our database, you will have like unique ID, and that's how we solve some of the crucial things, if that answers your question.
Have you talked to any customers about what the like most needed SDKs are, like what they'll use the most? Because you kind of covered a lot of different things, right? Voice chat, file encryption.
Yeah, basically it's one thing. It's called data exchange. When we exchange data, it's basically bytes.
Do you expect most of your developers will be mobile developers? Like, is the SDK just for mobile?
No, it's also web, and we are planning to work on smart TV and wearables as well, because this is
there was a company that just raised a bunch of money to do this, right? Like $10 million.
Yeah, there are few competitors.
So how are you better? How's your SDK better?
Yeah, the differentiation is, as I said, with the platform. The core platform is slightly lightweight compared to the others. They're still relying on traditional telephone industry, or they're taking examples from there and building huge platforms. In our case, the platform is really, really cheap, so we can offer cheap prices, of course, to our developers. That's the main difference.
Cool.
So when you pilot, and you haven't piloted yet, correct?
You mean to launch
Yeah,
this?
your launch.
Actually, it's beta stage now. It's launch. We have 50 developers, subscribers. We have close partnership with our faculty, so they will send through the summer students that can work on the platform and work on their ideas using the features of the platform. And also, the idea generally started when a client came to me ask for this kind of solution. He had an application to manage his field workers, and he said at one point, I want to have video stream from the field, or even chat and maybe call them. So that's how I started looking. So this is our also first paid customer.
Okay, so kind of piggybacking off what Justin asked, is it automated when you get feedback, or do you have to literally email them? Like, how are you trying to understand what they like, what they don't like? Because that's going to translate into you guys.
You mean the developers, our target?
Yeah, the developers.
Of course, yeah. We are also developers. I'm a developer for 8 years. Our team is mostly consists of developers, so we are deep inside developer community, so we know how developers are thinking, how they appreciate help, how they respond to each other, and what they actually need. So that's, I'm pretty sure that we'll, I mean, I've talked to many of them, so they are really interested in this kind of thing, because there is no such easy way. There are things that are still not launched, or too complicated to implement, or too expensive.
Because it's going to be key for you guys to have this analytics piece of it to see what's being adopted, what's not being used, right? So that you can innovate. And going back to what he shared, you know, staying relevant, right? So, because if they're just using a few of the tools, and then they need new security features to incorporate, they're going to stop using you, right? And
yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, I understand your point. That's why I'm saying we are close to the developers, and we are developers, and we understand the latest trends and needs of the developers. So actually, we can provide them what they really need.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So put your hands together for Black App. Are you ready for pitch number 5? Pitch number 5 is simply called Bridge Me. And Bridge Me is from Sweden.
Hey guys. Let's start with something odd, of course. What says the elephant to a naked man? How can you breathe with this tube? No. Okay. I am from BridgeMe, and I guess you all know this problem that you look for people with certain knowledge which you don't have, and your own friends cannot always help with this knowledge. But you can be sure that somewhere in your network, people know the things you need. So what I normally have to do is I call 100 people, say, hey, who can bridge me to sustainability Eastern Europe? Or I send tons of emails, I use Google, and then I find just random people where I don't know if I can trust them and if I can rely on them. So imagine, what if there would be a tool which opens several doors in just one platform using the existing social media which you are already using? What if there's something which would create effortless tags about valuable knowledge and will help you to organize this knowledge? Let me introduce you to BridgeMe. You sign up with Facebook, LinkedIn, Google products, and you just put a shout. So we will have an application and a web function saying who can bridge me to a Syrian refugee, someone who knows about sprouting, sustainability in Eastern Europe. And all of your friends will get a push notification saying Nikolai is looking for XY. And maybe there is Sarah saying, wait, I know someone who knows about sustainability in Eastern Europe. This is Alex, he's in Eastern Europe and he knows about sustainability. And I say, Sarah, please bridge me. She says, sure, no problem. I get his contact data. I contact him. I refer to our mutual friend. And like in real life, I will have a big advantage and he will answer me and will hopefully help me, whatever that be. It can be in private or in professional life. So with those shouts, we create tags, in this case, sustainability in Eastern Europe, and this will help us to organize the knowledge which is available in your network, and it's valuable because we're not new social media, we're just a platform making the most of the tools which you already use, and we build on existing behavior of bridging people all the time via email. So you can soon then use our application, bridge people in a boring meeting in 1 second, help your friends, but also gain the knowledge in the people, from the people around you and organize valuable knowledge from trusted people. Thank you.
I like your deck. I didn't see how you guys are following up to make sure that bridge was successful, and not successful that they talked, but there was value in that conversation. How do you look at that?
Gamification, and we will give you the opportunity to say thank you to your friend for bridging, but also give him a sentence of how it went. So what happened after you bridged me? So you can get up to date, and then you will get, certain perks and a score, and then you can also put this on your social media and say, I'm well in putting people together and helping my friends finding knowledgeable people, trusted people.
And can other people tap into that conversation somehow? So what if that question repeats?
We're not asking questions, we look for knowledge. So
knowledge.
And of course, when it's asked first, and some of your other friends have the same problem or need the same knowledge, we will have automatically a suggestion.
Will it direct you to that person that was bridged, or do you have to?
No, you go always through one person, because that creates the trust. Because I know you, I know the other guy, and I know if they fit together. It's like in real life. So it's my decision putting them together. So this creates the human intelligence.
Thank you.
So when you put out a request, I have to have an account with BridgeMe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do the people who are receiving that also have to have your app?
The people who receive it, yes. The people who you can bridge to, no.
Okay, I got you. So like, why would I download the app if I didn't have a request, like before I actually had something?
Yeah, because there is nothing which helps you to organize the knowledge in your network. So I have very valuable contacts, but I lose track of the knowledge which is available in my network. So you can use the app also just to build a visualizer of what topics are available and what expertise and how you can use them. But I'm sure that you have on a daily basis a problem which you have to solve. So this case is not really here.
Okay, why Croatia? Did they leave you behind after Yacht Week or something?
Sorry?
Why Croatia? Why are you
because I think it's good to take every opportunity, and we are 20 out of 300, so.
Okay, that's good. So,
and I'm from Austria originally.
You're from Austria.
We are based in Sweden.
You're based in Sweden, okay.
I like Europe, so it's
okay,
always
so you're
good
down
to
here
be
to pitch
present
for that.
here.
Okay, get you now. Okay, I've got a question to the audience. How many people understood what this was?
Okay, yeah, cool.
That's pretty good, actually. How many would use it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, that's good. Because I struggled with it a little bit to understand where it was, but that's good. That's all I wanted to know was it was getting through.
Cool.
Good. All right.
Can you walk me? I have two questions. First of all, like what was your aha moment that led you to this? Like,
I'm a journalist, and I moved to Sweden. I have a good network, but I arrived in New, it's a small city. Not everyone knows someone in Malmö. And I said, okay, I have to interview a Syrian refugee. I have to organize a conference. And I want to go through valuable people, trusted knowledge. And I didn't want to just find random people because I was not sure if I can rely on them and if it's good money. And I talked to several people, and everyone said, I have the problem on a daily basis. So I never wanted to become an entrepreneur. It was never in my life plan. But I had the problem, and there's nothing out there. There's one competitor called Gohachi, and they are not focusing on a tagging system. They are focusing on getting introductions to people, to names, like the vice president of Nestle. This is nothing we're working on. So I said, okay, there's nothing I can use, so we have to do it ourselves.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, BridgeMe. Right, we are now on number 5, the last pitch. Not the last pitch, we're now on number 5. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for... It's number 6, sorry. Productive.
Hello everyone, my name is Tomislav, and I'd like to talk about a product that we built. It's called Productive, and it's used to run a profitable agency. I'm the co-founder of a company, local company called Infinum. We're a 50-person digital agency. So when I say agency, that basically means we do contract work, we do consulting work for our clients. And our primary business model is to charge for our time. So taking that into account, when we started doing this sort of work maybe 4 years ago, we ran into a problem. We did a couple of projects for clients and we wanted to know, okay, how much money did we make? How can we actually measure profitability for this type of work and optimize it basically? We kind of shopped around, we looked for different solutions, and we didn't find anything that actually solved the problem. So kind of in the line of scratching our own itch, we said, okay, let's build something ourselves. So basically how Productive works, it takes different types of data. So it takes the timesheets, so the time tracking that your employees do. It takes the employee salaries and also the revenue that you have for all your projects. And it gives you a good profitability report across all your projects, contracts, different clients, that sort of stuff. So the whole center is around making a profitable business. And what we found, what was very interesting, that having a system like this, it actually changes your company. So when we put the system in place, you get a lot of like nice charts. And all these charts in the start were red. They were unprofitable. All our projects were like we were losing money. And once the managers, the people that actually run the project, started looking at this stuff, they started to optimize around it. They started to negotiate with clients. And we started to get green charts. We started to get profitable. As we kind of use the software more and more, we found a lot of different features that make sense, that we built, and that actually are kind of a core business for an agency. So managing a sales pipeline, doing CRM, project management, and other useful things. So we talked around with different companies that are like us, and they basically all had the same problem, and nobody found a solution. So we said, let's make this into a product. What's good about this thing for us is that there are literally hundreds of thousands of companies doing this sort of work in the world, so doing services for clients. Now, Productive has been in production for maybe 3.5 years, something like that. The first version was published then, and Infinium kind of invested around 70,000 euros of our own time, money into this project. We know that this figure is correct because we tracked it using Productive, right? Today, we run our company solely using this piece of software. We have around 200 active users scattered around the world. And through a private beta program, we're talking with different companies like us to see what are their pain points and how can we make the software better for them. Our pricing model is very simple and transparent. We charge you $10 per employee per month. This is good because smaller companies pay less and larger companies pay more. We also have a 60-day free trial so you can get to know the software. Basically, the team behind it are experienced software developers and designers and people that kind of know the agency business, know how it works. And we're also using the software every day, so we're our best customer. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great, very interesting. I just have one quick question. So what is your distribution model for this? Like, how do you plan to get this out to the marketplace? Are you going to be like an OEM, or what's the plan? Okay, so
basically, our plan to get the word out there and to get people to use it, we have two kind of marketing, maybe 3 marketing strategies. One is just using content marketing. We have a blog up there called Working with Clients. The point of it is to attract other agencies. So they read about how to actually work with clients, how to do different things, and then they show, oh, Productive, what is this? That sort of thing. The other one is, the other model we're trying to do is using network effects. So the point of this software, so what you typically see in the agency business is you have a lot of clients working with different agencies. So what we want to accomplish is, let's say I'm an agency, I'm working with a client, I get my client on board, then the client who's working with 2 other agencies says, this is good, it helps me work with this agency, I want to work with these 2 agencies too. They'll force the software onto agencies because that's how clients work. And then the other agencies say, okay, I'm going to use this on, and you kind of understand where I'm going with this. So these are 2 basic models, and there's always just paid advertising and kind of using Google, Facebook, whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, great pitch, man. I can really understand the need for it. Including yourself and the 6 that are in the team, are you all full-time, or how do you split your time with the agency, and when are you going to go after this full-time? If I'm an investor, what am I investing in? Am I investing in the agency? Am I investing in Productive? Like, just a few questions around that.
Yeah, so we have a couple of people that are on it full-time, and then we kind of steal the other people away from the agency business. So like designers, we don't need them full-time for this, so we steal them and then we give them back, if you know what I'm saying. So for an investor, this is a model that we'll probably need to work out with the investor once we have like a complete plan, funding, whatever you're going to spend, and then we see like what's the best story. But yeah, we have some people on staff just working on this, and then we have all the other people that we're renting out.
And what about yourself? What do you want to do?
What do I want to do? Well, I'm kind of split maybe 50-50 between these two things, and depending on, because we're doing a launch now, and if this thing kicks off, then I'll need to kind of make a decision what I want to do.
Okay. How does the client app work? Like, how do the clients use this?
So basically, the roles in the software are very customizable. So you have like your typical, I don't know, management of a company. Then you have your employees, you have clients, you have contractors, all the different parts of this agency ecosystem. So the clients currently use it just, you can set it up, but they can use it for communication around different like tasks. So also like Basecamp, basically.
Yeah.
So what would you use Basecamp for? You can do it here. But there are other elements that you can give to the client, so they can actually see your like how much time you've spent on their project, which is good if you're charging them by the hour.
So have you seen clients use it? You have clients using it in the beta right
now?
Yes,
all our clients are using it.
And have they asked other agencies? Have you seen that network effect happen where they've spread it to another agency?
Yeah, they've asked. The biggest problem is we still haven't. So today is like our first day of rolling it out, actually. So a lot of clients have asked, how can I use this for my other projects? That sort of time. I said, just wait. We need to kind of fix out the bugs,
Okay, cool.
The pricing plan of $10 per employee, it's great for small companies, but if a company grows, they're not, and they want everyone using it, their whole sales force or whole project management team, are they going to have to shell out, thousands of dollars per month, or do you have some option to say, for this much, it's company-wide?
Yeah. So the main thing is our pricing model is we kind of looked around the competition, and all things taken into account, we're cheaper than everybody else. This is intentional because we're kind of going into the market and we want to be cheaper, but we don't think $10 is too expensive for this piece of software because this basically replaces 5 to 6 different software. So you would need to use something for project management, CRM, sales pipeline, time tracking. So if you want to use all this software, you need to pay maybe $50, $60, $70 per employee. So I don't think this is too expensive. If we were to get a really big account, then we would maybe talk about it. We haven't had this situation, but we're in the Balkans here, so we're used to negotiating.
Okay, well done.
Put your hands together for Productive. Okay, so there we are. That kind of, you've got a Mexican wave in the center, just the 3. Right, so that kind of sets the standard, if you like, for what's ahead, sets the standard for the pitches and naturally for the questions posed by the different various judges as well. The other 18, literally, that's what you're up against. We will now have lunch. I'm sure you're glad to hear. If you go upstairs into the foyer, lunch is there, and I ask you to come back here into this room at 2:45. 2:45, and Amy Cosper will be giving us something special.